Good morning, Venture Online. We are so excited to be back once more for an awesome online worship experience. We're so excited that you have chosen to join us this morning. We are so excited for everything that's in store today. Why don't you go ahead and comment in the chat section down below something that you're thankful for right now. God is doing so many awesome things in our lives as a church, in our community. Let us know what's awesome that's happening in your world right now. My name is Matt Floyd. My wife and I, Casey and I, get the honor of leading Venture students together, and we are just honored that you've chosen to engage in worship via this virtual online experience with us this morning. I want to encourage you guys to lean into a very special way of partnering up and enjoying the service, engaging with the service with us. Go ahead and put the main video on your largest screen, whether that's a flat screen in your living room or a laptop computer. Having that video nice and big is going to help you engage with it even better. And use your smaller device like your smartphone or your tablet to watch the feed, but to comment in the chat. That way you can stay engaged big, but also stay engaged small. It's going to be an awesome service. We can't wait to hear from Pastor Sean in a little bit. And here in just a few moments, we're going to be led by Chris and the awesome worship team. It's some powerful moments of worship. Man, we are so excited about everything that God is doing through Venture Online. It's been honestly overwhelming, the incredible ways that God has taken the unprecedented events around us and used it to catapult Venture Church into something amazing. This will be watched not only by people in Bluffton and the Low Country, but by people in all other states. Why don't you go ahead and comment in the chat section where you're watching the service from. We would love to connect with you more about that. And speaking of connect, we have what we call Venture Connect. This is a way for us as a church to stay connected throughout the week. It's so special to see. We have first what we call virtual check-ins. These check-ins are a way for you to pop in quick to a group of people just like you, say hi, catch up with them, interact with some real humans for once, and it's such an incredible ministry. Go ahead to venturesc.org to find more information about those groups there. Over on Facebook, we also have, as a part of Venture Connect, a few live moments happening throughout the week to keep us connected. Be sure to check out on Tuesday and Thursday mornings, live prayer with Pastor Sean to connect to the heart of what God has going on in your week. And also, we have what we call midweek worship on Wednesday evenings as Pastor Chris and Pastor Sean come together to worship and to talk about worship in our real life. And also don't forget our weekend celebration coming to you on Friday nights as a way to launch into a weekend just thinking of all the incredible things that God is doing in our life today. Man, we're so excited for this morning. Glad you've tuned in. Let's get ready to go live now to an incredible worship experience.
Good morning and welcome to Venture Online. We're so excited you're here to join us from wherever you are. Let's stand and engage in some meaningful worship. At break of day and hope we is a light, your love untamed. It's blazing out, the streets will glow forever bright. Your glory is breaking through the night. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side. In my life, shining through me every day. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side. In my life, shining through me every day. Wait within me, wait within me. You're in my heart forever. You wait within me, wait within me. You're in my heart forever. With fire in our eyes, our lives alight. Your love untamed, it's blazing out. The streets will glow forever bright. Your glory's breaking through the night. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side. In my life, shining through me every day. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side. In my life, shining through me every day. Wait within me, wait within me. You're in my heart forever. You wait within me, wait within me. You're in my heart forever. Forever, forever, forever in your love. Forever, forever, forever in your love. Forever, forever, forever in your love. Forever, forever, forever. We know that you will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side. In my life, shining through me every day. You will never fade away. Your love is here to stay by my side. In my life, shining through me every day. Wait within me, wait within me. You're in my heart forever. You wait within me, wait within me. You're in my heart forever. Thank you again for joining us. We're so excited to worship together. I love this next song that we're going to sing, Ever Be. I just love that reminder, that God is always worthy of our praise, of our worship. So let's worship a God whose praise will ever be on our lips.
Your love is devoted, like a ring of solid gold, like a vow that is tested, like a covenant of old. and your love is enduring through the winter rain, beyond the horizon, with mercy for today. Faithful you have been, and faithful you will be. You pledge yourself to me, and that's why I sing. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. You father the orphan, your kindness makes us whole, and you shoulder our weakness, and your strength becomes our own. Now you're making me like you, clothing me in white, bringing beauty from ashes. For you will have your bride, free of all her guilt, rid of all her shame, known by her true name. And that's why I sing. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. You will be praised, you will be praised. With angels and saints we sing, worthy are you, Lord. You will be praised, you will be praised. With angels and saints we sing, worthy are you, Lord. You will be praised, you will be praised. With angels and saints we sing, worthy are you, Lord. You will be praised, you will be praised. With angels and saints we sing, worthy are you, Lord. And that's why I sing. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips. Your praise will never be on my lips, never be on my lips.
I also love this next song we're going to sing. It just reminds me that in the anxiety and in the sleepless nights, God always has peace at the ready. And I've felt that peace that just passes all understanding. And it can only come from a God who was listening. And it just left me praying, God, I just want to be here in this moment, just here with you. So let's sing that. beneath the surface of my anxious imagination beckons a calmness that is found in you alone. It washes over every doubt, every imperfection. Jesus, your presence is the comfort of my soul. There's nowhere I'd rather be when you're singing over me. I just wanna be here with you. I'm lost in your mystery. I'm found in your love for me. I just wanna be here with you. Here in the waiting, I won't worry about tomorrow. No need to focus on the things I can't control. All my attention on the wonder of this moment. Jesus, your presence is the comfort of my soul. There's nowhere I'd rather be when you're singing over me. I just wanna be here with you. I'm lost in your mystery. I'm found in your love for me. I just wanna be here with you. So let all that I am be consumed with who you are. All the glory of your presence. What more could I ask for? So let all that I am be consumed with who you are. All the glory of your presence. What more could I ask for? So let all that I am be consumed with who you are. All the glory of your presence. What more could I ask for? There's nowhere I'd rather be when you're singing over me. I just wanna be here with you.
lost in your mystery. I'm found in your love for me. I just wanna be here with you.
Jesus, thank you for just being here with us. Your presence is more than enough. What more could we ask for? We love you. It's in your name.
Incredible time of worship we had. I'm personally so thankful for Chris and his incredible team that lead us every single Sunday through powerful moments of worship. And worship doesn't just happen through song. You can worship in a lot of different ways. I encourage you guys to take a physical step and lean into worship through the Word. Pastor Sean's about to come and give us an incredible message that he has on his heart for this morning. Why don't you go ahead, as you've got this service playing on your biggest screen, your big TV, and you're engaging in the comment section on your smaller device like your phone, go ahead and also grab a physical Bible. This way you can follow along with the message that Pastor Sean is reading. And also go ahead and grab something to write with, a notebook and a pen. That way you can take some notes, pull out some key things that God is speaking to you in this. Let's take a step and lean in to what God has for this moment. Let's go right now to Pastor Sean.
Good morning, Venture Online. I am super excited to be with you this morning in this format. If this morning is your first time joining us, I want to give you a big welcome. Venture is a church that is physically located in Bluffton, South Carolina, but over the course of this crisis, this pandemic, whatever you want to call it, we've been able to meet in homes all over the country, and this morning it's in your home. If this is your first time joining us, I encourage you to click the link in the description and fill out our connection card so we can connect with you. One of the things that makes Venture special is that Venture, we aren't like family. Come on, give it in the comments. We are family. And it's so easy at a time like this to jump online, see some content on a screen, see somebody on a screen, a band on a screen, and be a spectator. That's not what makes us special. My fear during this season is that you partake in a part of Venture, but you lose what really makes us unique and special, and that's the family-like atmosphere we create in physical locations and now through online locations. So I would deeply encourage you, no matter where you're watching this from, fill out our connection card. Let us appreciate you and connect with you. I want to give a shout out, so get your comments ready. Get on that small device with watching service on the big device and get your thumbs ready to type, because it's a big week for a lot of people, and those are our graduating seniors. So come on, if you got a graduating senior in your life, no matter where you're watching this from, let's give them some love in the comments of this. I want to tell each of you that are watching, we are incredibly proud of the hard work and dedication it took to get to this place. I also want to tell you that what happens next is incredibly important, and I believe with all of my heart that Satan and the attack has come in and tried to stall your story. It is a chapter of your story, not the culmination of your story, and the pressure of this season is preparing you for the greatness that God has called you to. So when you walk into the next season, don't carry the weight and the baggage of what was supposed to be mine in a physical graduation or this, that, or the other. Charge into what's next like the champion you are. Everyone at the Venture family is incredibly proud of you guys. So hooty hoos and what's up and praise emojis to our graduating seniors. We are super, super proud of you guys. One of the other things I want to tell you here as we do online church, it is so easy to take a step back. I want you to step forward today in ways like sharing this video right now. Click the share button so people all over the country can see it and their lives can be transformed. You have no idea what God can do by you hitting the share button. So everybody watching this right now, everybody, whether you're watching on playback, you're watching it live, we can all hit the share button. And just from that simple act, God can make us a participant of how He is changing people's lives. And then, of course, all of this is possible. Everything Venture is doing, everything the church is doing is possible because of people's generosity. I'm going to encourage you, even right here, before we jump into today's content, click the link in the description. Let's together live generously and change people's lives and carry on the ministry of the church. It may look different right now than it's ever looked before, but we get to be a part of it at our new service time, which is 10 a.m. It's a few minutes earlier this week. We're super excited about that. I am in this series of talks called Essential. Obviously, that's kind of become a very hot topic type word. We've used it for different organizations. We've used it for different people groups. We've used it to define who gets to go to work and who doesn't get to go to work. And it's completely transformed our way of life. Essential, non-essential. Webster's dictionary just uses the word essential as something that is necessary. As I kept hearing this over and over in the weeks of our COVID lockdown, it made me think, what is necessary for my life? What is essential for my life? What is essential for the church? And we might all come up with different conclusions or different ideas of what is and isn't essential. So I wanted to boil it down to a series of talks on things that are essential. We started a couple weeks ago with love is essential, and last week we talked about relationships are essential and how Venture as a church is going to facilitate that here in the Low Country over the summer with groups on the go. I encourage you, get in that Facebook group so you can be in organic relationship with people all summer. One of the things that we're lacking in life right now is authentic relationship, being around people. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of Zoom. I was grateful for Zoom. Now I'm tired of Zoom. I'm just over it. I need to be in the room with some people. We need to be in relationship with people. So get on that Facebook group, Groups on the Go. Today, I want to look at something that even science, even sociologists say is essential for our life. And in fact, our life won't make sense without it. Now, I don't know about you, but there's a lot of things right now that don't make sense. A lot of things. Things just don't add up. And I believe for us, this may be an undercurrent of the emotional climate that we're feeling in our soul. I believe this one has actually been one of the hardest to navigate during this season of social distancing and isolation. It's placed many of us in an uneasy, unexplainable, emotional, unsettling. Like it's almost created this like, I don't know, I'm not about it. Well, what is it? Well, sociologists would say that until our lives are making a difference in someone else's life, our life won't make sense. In other words, serving people is essential. Serving is essential. And it's so essential, likewise, it is written into Jesus' story. Let's jump into John chapter 13, where I'm going to be. I want to encourage you again, like our youth pastors, Matt and Casey, did on the video this morning before service. Jump into your paper Bible. And I want to remind you, if you're watching this live this morning or you're watching it on playback and you're going, man, I don't have a paper Bible, I want you to send us a message and let us mail you a Bible. It would be our honor to send that to you so you can follow along in a paper Bible. There's incredible Bible apps. I use the YouVersion Bible app myself, and I encourage you to get that on your device. But when it comes to daily reading and it comes to following along in service, there's no replacement, in my opinion, for the paper Bible. John chapter 13. It was just before the Passover festival. Jesus knew He already knew that the hour had come for him to leave this world. He knew his death was coming and to go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, talking about his disciples, he now what? Showed them the full extent of his love. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. First, and before I jump into talking about serving, I want to just highlight something real quick. This has got to be the most stressful week of Jesus' life. And I don't know about you, but in the downslope of this pandemic and now the upslope of this pandemic, there's been plenty of opportunities to feel stress and overwhelm. And most people, as we get stressed, even around our squad, our friends, our crew, we actually take a step back and isolate. Here, this is Jesus' last week on earth. He's literally carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. And where is he at? He's at a meal with friends. Relationships are so important. He chose in his most stressful season to surround himself with people. And he had plenty going on. He had plenty of excuses to change that. But we have to be aware he chose to, and it was to show them the extent of his love, which tells us this: action is essential. Action is essential. Jesus showed them the full extent of his love. If love is essential, which we talked about in the very first week of this series of talks, if love is essential, then the action of love is serving. The action of the love that I feel or express, it's expressed through my serving, and we have to show it like Jesus. James said it like this in chapter 2. If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, "Depart in peace. Go, man, I hope you have a great week. Man, go get it this week. Have a good one." One of you says, "Depart in peace, be warm and filled," but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body. What does it profit? Thus also, faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. In other words, it's not enough to sit at the table with people and profess your love with your words. Sometimes we got to get up out of our chair and wash their feet. We got to show them the full extent of our love. Jesus was sitting at the table. I need you to be there for a moment, right? Jesus is sitting at the table, all of the disciples around. And he looks around, and I can see him as he takes a moment, his last meal with his buddies, with his crew, and he looks in their eyes. And you know what he sees? He sees proud hearts. He sees proud hearts. And then slowly, as he sees the proud hearts, he thinks about their feet. Now, that seems weird. I don't know about you, but when I go out to Outback for a steak dinner and I'm looking at my friends' eyes, I'm not thinking about the dirt between their toes. Just not my thing. I got an issue with feet. I don't even rub my wife's feet, right? I don't go get no pedicures. I'm not that kind of guy. Come on, somebody. My buddy once told me, he goes, "You look like the kind of guy that go get a pedicure." Not that anything's wrong with that. If you like to get a pedicure, go get them. I don't need nobody touching my feet. Come on, shout out in the comments if you need a pedicure right now. Not it. I got some people in this room, they're cheering me down. The hootie hoos and the hand raises are all out. I don't need nobody touching my feet. I'm not sitting at the table at Outback thinking about my friend's feet. Here, Jesus, put yourself there. The disciples are all sitting around the table. He sees the pride in their heart, but the dirt on their feet. I mean, this is the same meal. They're arguing about who would be the greatest. I mean, John's there. John's like, "Man, listen, I'm the one he calls the beloved. I'm the disciple whom Jesus loved." Peter goes, "Yeah? I walked on water." Bartholomew goes to stand up and realizes people can't even pronounce his name and sits back down. Right? Like they're going over this whole thing about who will be the greatest, and in front of the greatest who would ever walk the earth, they're arguing about who would be the greatest, and what does he do? He gets up. He gets up. John chapter 13, verse 3, Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power. He knew, again, he goes, I know I got the authority. I know I got the power. That God was from God and was returning to God. So he what? He got up from the meal. He saw the dirt on their feet, says, hey, I got this. Sure. He already knew. He had the power. He could have snapped his finger and all bacteria would have been gone. He could have spoke to the feet. This little piggy gets clean. That little piggy gets clean. That little piggy goes wham, wham, wham all the way home, and when it gets home, it gets clean. Like he could have spoke to the feet and they would have been clean. That would have been my approach if I was the Messiah. I would have been looking at that feet and be like, you get clean and you get clean. I ain't touching you. You get clean and you get clean. But he chooses, like, what is wrong with this guy? Just hang with me for a little while, all right? Church is supposed to be fun. We're supposed to laugh, but we're supposed to accept the truth of it too. He gets up from his seat, from his place of comfort, and he finds his place of purpose. And I wonder, we're trapped in our chairs of comfort and we're not walking in purpose during a pandemic. And now we're going, man, I can't figure out what's going on in my world. It's because serving people is essential. He could have summoned a legion of angels to give them one of them heavenly pedicures, but he didn't. The King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the hope for all of life, for all of humanity, the Redeemer. He got out of his chair. He said, I got this. You see, he could have seen their struggle. He did see their struggle. The pride in their hearts. They're arguing about who would be best. He could have used their struggle as a moment to excuse him from serving. I need you to see this. He could have used their struggle as an excuse for him to not serve, but he served in spite or beyond their struggle anyway. And I think sometimes we use other people's struggle as an excuse for our lack of serving. Say, well, I would serve them, but. I would serve them, but. I could, but they're just this or they're just that. And we see their struggle, and their struggle prevents our serving, and we're the ones lacking purpose. He saw the struggle in their hearts, the pride, and he still washed their feet. If we're going to live in what's really essential, serving people is essential, and we need to love like Jesus, which means we may need to stop preaching about people's struggles and start washing their feet and serving their needs and loving them in spite of their struggle. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that serving people is essential, and it's not about a status. It's crazy how quickly we go on to grab titles and statuses. In the midst of this crazy pandemic, the word essential all of a sudden became a badge of honors for some and a burden to carry for others. Like some people like, man, I work at Publix. I never intended to be essential. Other people like, man, I'm a first responder, man. I'm ready to go. That's what I was born for. It's a badge of honor for some and a burden to carry for others. Either way, it was a category. It was a status. And how quickly we will grab onto a status. The disciples are here at the last meal with Jesus. And what are they looking for? A status. Which one of us are going to be the greatest? Jesus took the role of the servant. John chapter 13, verse 4. So he got up from the meal. He took off his outer clothing and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin. By the way, it's interesting to know that we see in the Old Testament God calling Moses to speak to a rock and it produces water. Jesus could have spoke to the basin and it produced water, but he walks through the process of serving anyway. He didn't exclude himself from the process. He poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with the towel that was wrapped around him. You see, it's important for us to wrap our mind around, again, being there in the moment to see what's really going on. The outer garment that he took off, the first thing he did, he got up and he took off his outer clothing, his outer garment. That garment would have been what sealed his place, his status. It would have identified him as a rabbi. If you go back to the woman with the issue of blood and she touched the hem of his garment, the hem would have symbolized a place of authority, a place of power, him as a rabbi. So he takes off his status and picks up a towel, the tool of a servant. I can only imagine as the disciples are all watching what takes place as he takes off the outer robe, as he takes off the outer garment and he picks up the towel. They're going, oh, my Messiah's not washing my feet. But Jesus was determined to what? Show them the full extent of his love and show them how they would then need to love each other and ultimately the world. Let me tell you something. The world doesn't care about your status. They want to know if you'll serve them. They don't care. They don't care about your status. They want to know, does your life make a difference? Are you serving people? Sometimes instead of looking for a reason not to, we need to look for a reason to. A reason we need to serve. Potentially the reason we are in this weird emotional state. I don't know about you, it almost seems awkward. Like that would be a word to describe the emotional climate. Awkward. And maybe the reason is if we've let all of the can'ts, I can't do this, and I can't do that. And all of our no's overpower our yeses and our cans, and we've stopped serving each other. We've stopped serving. Now, let me just ask. When's the last time you I can do that. I'll do that. Maybe it's something simple. I had a few hours a couple of weeks ago and had the incredible privilege just to jump in and help a friend build some shelves. Something simple. Not even a big deal. But yeah, at the end of the night, I was exhausted, but yes, I can. I can. And we filled our lives with can'ts and no's. And now all of a sudden, everything is in our four walls, and we need to regain the fact that serving starts with an attitude before it gets to an action. Your attitude is essential. Serving is not what I do. We often say, well, Jesus called you to serve people. No, he called you a servant. It's who you are, not what you do. And by the way, if it's who I am, then I don't have to over-celebrate it. I don't have to have a hashtag for every time I serve. Wash the dishes today. Hashtag best husband ever. I don't have to have a hashtag for every time I serve another person. Mowed the neighbor's grass. Hashtag HOA member of the year. That's probably not me, right? I don't need to have a hashtag for a celebration for every moment I do what I'm called to do anyway. It's like when your kids, homeschool props for real, your kids go, hey, I did my schoolwork today. Good. You were supposed to do your schoolwork today. You don't get a gold star for that. It's what you were supposed to do. If it's who I am, it flows out of me. I don't do it with my hand up going, who's going to celebrate me? Because it's a part of who I am. Now, I'm not against celebrating what the body does. It's good for us to spur one another on. That's scriptural. So we need to encourage and edify each other. I'm saying look at your attitude and hopefully it responds in our actions. Jesus didn't get up, huff and puff. Well, no one else washed your feet. I guess I'll do it. In fact, no one even asked him to. In fact, and you need to hear this. Man, this became so alive to me today as I was writing this. In fact, no one else at the table, this is so good for some of us that have been in church for a long time. You need to see this. Maybe it'll be the first time you see it. No one else at that table even noticed there was dirty feet. No one else even noticed. But Jesus did. And his response to the need he saw shows us how we should respond to the needs that God brings to us. He didn't start nudging the other guys going, man, you think anybody around here is going to do anything about the feet? We got a feet situation. There's some dirty feet in the room. Somebody needs to do something about, I'm mad at all of you because y'all aren't doing nothing about the dirty feet. If God shows you the need, he's calling you to fill it. He didn't get mad at the other disciples because they weren't washing the feet. He recognized it was his purpose to serve the need that God showed him. And sometimes what happens is we get mad at the people around us because they don't see the need that God showed us. God's not calling them to fill it. He's calling you to fill it. He's calling us to serve the need that He's showing us. But his attitude, the best, the only perfect one who ever walked, his attitude was that of a servant. He said, I don't need this fancy robe. I need the towel. I need to get my hands dirty. If you aren't serving, you're selling yourself short. There's needs all around you. There's opportunity for God to move through you. He's showing you things even in this moment. And what we've done, and I mean this for all of us, we've settled that church can be right here. This can be how I watch church. You're looking at my notes. See, I highlight in pink. That's who I am, right? We watching. I did not get a pedicure this week. We're watching this on our screens. Going, man, this is how we do church now. And we're missing that the church was always about the man that got out of the chair and served the men he would die for. Notice the last meal here. It's amazing. This is my last moment, I'm be honest. My friends get mad at me when I get my preachy voice on because I can preach just about anything. We can be watching TV and I just break in because that's how God made me. If it's my last meal, I'm be like, Anthony, bro, I got to drop some fire on you, man. Get your fire emoji. By the way, Anthony's the one that told me that I look like a guy that would get a pedicure. Somebody give him some slack right now in the comments. Say, man up. How you be a man? Like, that's what he told me. I'd taken the guy away, right? Anthony, and if it's our last meal together, Anthony, bro, I'm going to lay some truth on you. I'm going to lay a message on you. I'm going to lay fire on you. Jesus got up and served. And I wonder if we've been so consumed with this, we've lost sight of this. And then what happens is this. We wind up in this emotional climate. This emotional unease going, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. I can't figure it out. What you can't figure out is God didn't call you to watch. He called you to serve. He called you to serve. Jesus so perfectly explained it. He's sitting at the table. They're all having a good time, a merry time. And he's the one that notices there's dirt on their feet. And he says, you know what, God, I got to do something about this. I got to do something about this. Serving humanity is essential for you. But it starts out of whose I am. When I realize the Messiah, the one that has given it all, came to seek and save me, to serve me. My response is only to serve other people because my purpose is to serve God by serving other people. But that stems out of my relationship with Him, not my duty for Him. It's not what I do, it's who I am because of whose I am. And I wonder if because we've settled for religious duty, God's calling us back to a true relationship. And out of that relationship, we will learn to serve so well. If you're watching this right now live this morning, on playback later today, maybe throughout the week on YouTube or whatever. And the one thing you recognize during this pandemic is that you don't have a relationship with Jesus. Now, it's easy right now, as soon as I say that, you're conditioned maybe to start shutting down. He got out of his chair to wash men's feet because he loved them so much. He hung on a cross to serve me because he loved me that much. This isn't something I say every week. It is the heartbeat of my soul. That you can watch church week in and week out and check it off your box. But I want to compel you in this moment right here through this camera to your living room. Do you have a real relationship with Him? Because I think He's speaking to you right now. And I want to make it so easy. I just want to pray with you. And if you're willing to be so bold and say, man, that's me during COVID-19 on this May 31st, 2020, I'm going to make a declaration that I want a relationship with Jesus. All I would ask you to do is send us a message or send out the contact card so we can celebrate with you. But I'm going to lead us in a prayer. And as we do, I'm praying that God's speaking to you and you'd be bold enough to respond. God, I thank you that in that moment at a meal, you got out of a table, you got out of a chair and served us. And you served us so well. You gave your life for us. Let us respond not with duty towards you and a religion, but in humility in a relationship with you, and learn to serve others. So today, as I pray this, I know there are people that are responding to you right now, that we would just come with boldness and say, I accept you. I'm sorry for all the incredible things, the many things I've done wrong. I choose you as my Lord and Savior. In your name, amen. Amen. I want to encourage you with something. If you're not actively a part of Venture's Dream Team, you see, it's easy in this climate to be confused about what Venture's about. See, if you were to show up to a physical location, and I invite you as we get back to meeting, whether you're watching in the Low Country or you're watching from other parts of the country, come visit the Low Country with the intent of stopping by one of our physical services. Because if you were to come to Venture's physical location, what you'd immediately notice is what makes it special is not what happens on this screen. It's what happens at the front door, right, Anthony? It's when you walk through the door and people care about you. What it's made up is hundreds of people that serve. If you're in the Low Country and you're not serving on our dream team, we are preparing to go back to live gatherings. And I want to invite you. Somebody just said, he just said that? Come on, somebody. I'm ready to party with you guys. Y'all can't hold me back. I'm like a caged lion. I've had enough. I'm ready to get back to live gatherings. Somebody shout me down in the comments right now. Say, we're ready to praise together. We're ready to do it. Here's what we better be ready. We better be ready to serve together, because that's how we make a difference. And if you're not a part of our dream team, you send us a message right now. We're going to guide you in, because God's going to raise up a team and change a city and change a region, because people are willing to serve. You got to be a part of it. Don't be a bystander. And don't forget, it's all possible because of generosity. Generosity is the pace of the vision. We have a great vision to reach a city. The pace is set by our generosity. You say, are you asking for my money? No, I'm going to be honest. I'm not asking for your money. I'm asking you to ask God what your part will be. And I'll never apologize for sending you back to Him. You don't give to me. You don't give to this church. You give to God through this church. And we're going to reach thousands of people with the gospel of Jesus and see lives transformed because of your generosity. It's not a quantity issue. It's not an amount issue. It's an attitude and heart issue. And I'm grateful that God's brought incredible, generous people into this church. Now, y'all better follow us on social media to know what's about to happen, because I'm preparing to get back together. Have an incredible week.
Man, what an incredible word from Pastor Sean this morning. We want to thank you one more time for tuning in and engaging with us in this incredible online worship experience. We want to invite you to step into what God is doing through Venture Online by being a part and giving. We get the incredible privilege to take part in everything God is doing to reach people around the country and around the globe right now. So go ahead, hit the giving link if you're watching on the website, or if you're on Facebook, the link will be in the comment section below. Take part in what God is doing right now. Also, don't forget about Venture Connect. You can find all the information on our website at venturesc.org. Connect and be a part of what God is doing this coming week. Live prayer on Tuesday morning. You do not want to miss it. Go ahead, connect, be a part of it. We love you so much. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Hey, we'll see you right back here next Sunday morning. Have a great week.